Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling Tea Tarot, the channel where we try to look beyond the kayfabe and behind the booking to discover some truths in the world of professional wrestling. As always, I am Jude. My partner Calypso Vibes is here with me, and today we are going to try to take a peek behind the dark curtain that is Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. We have not seen Bray on WWE TV for about a month now, maybe a little bit more, since he no-showed that Madison Square Garden show before WrestleMania, and then, of course, was written out of the WrestleMania plan. There is some word or rumor that he's dealing with an injury of some sort. There's other rumors that this is really just a creative issue where Bray's current character not really getting over, especially in comparison to the White Rabbit buildup that had everybody so engaged. The character itself debuted with a bang, right? He was very raw, very open and honest. People love to see that sort of real, kind of gritty sensitivity from Bray while still implying this dark side. But I really think that once the Uncle Howdy character showed up as his own separate entity, the whole thing seems to have gone sideways. I mean, we've gotten exactly one match with Bray Wyatt in a feature position, and that was Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in that Mountain Dew pitch black Dayglow blacklight match. In fact, now that I think about it, we should have recorded this on 420 because of all that blacklight Dayglow stuff. But the whole thing just didn't go over. Uncle Howdy leaping off the balcony, mezzanine, whatever it was, to take that terrible bump where he didn't even look like he actually hit LA Knight. Hopefully LA Knight is coming out of this strong. Notwithstanding those two losses he's taken to Xavier Woods, but LA Knight is a completely different topic. Let's look not so much at what WWE has planned for Bray, although by the time we get to the end, maybe we'll get a peek at that, but just what's going on with Bray Wyatt. Bray is a Gemini, so versatility and freedom are very key parts to his character. Following a self-laid path, right? It's a very independent spirit. We know Bray is a real artist, or auteur, if you will. He's sort of the Stanley Kubrick of professional wrestling. However, Geminis can be impulsive and unpredictable, and I think we've definitely seen that with this current character. The third house of Mercury, which rules Gemini, very family oriented, particularly brothers and sisters. We know he was trying to get his brother Bo Dallas, work in the company. Presumably it was Bo Dallas that was playing the role of Uncle Howdy. Whether it was or wasn't, it definitely seemed like he was trying to work with his brother. His life path number is 8. That's based on his date of birth. And this is a strong life path. If you can see there, this number is called the Power, Authority, Materiality, Success. Bray is he's a third gen superstar. He's got the pedigree. He's got the creativity. Depending on what you think a wrestler should look like, maybe he doesn't have the body type that like a Vince McMahon would want to push, but life path 8s are usually very, very successful in the business, and I mean, he absolutely has been. He was a huge merch seller. The Fiend was super over. Just this current version, not so much. His destiny number is all about self-expression and artistic talent. Again, we know this about Bray. His power number 11. This is about how to best use your emotional sensitivity and vision to benefit others. And I think he has in some way tried to do that. I think his openness and sort of raw vulnerability when in the, the Bray Wyatt character, before the darker side comes and overshadows it, has that sort of cry for help, disjointed, conflicted sort of personality that I think a lot of people, especially in troubling times, may relate to. I don't know whether there are any success stories of someone saying, oh, I saw Bray Wyatt going through this and it made me reach out and get help. It made me take a deeper look at myself. I wouldn't be surprised, because I think the whole hurt-heel mentality does make people sort of think about their duality. Last number before I jump into the first Oracle deck here is Bray Wyatt's love number. And I'm talking about Bray with Jojo Offerman. That's love number 7. Your relationship needs to feel like you're finding a deeper meaning to life, so building on each other's knowledge and finding new, innovative, and authentic ways to live. And I think between his in-ring work, or at least his intent for it, and his social media presence, really does lean towards that, authentic living, really trying to express himself as raw as he can. I also think that this to me indicates, one of the things that may have drawn him to JoJo. And we understand that Bray cheated on his first wife and, started this relationship with JoJo. To some degree, that love number is a powerful attraction. Unfortunately, not a lot is known specifically about Bray's first wife, including her birthday. It's rumored to be in December sometime, but there's not nearly enough information available to do the sort of numerology on her that would have let me find the love number between she and Bray. So,
sorry,
Gesundheit. We're gonna have to just be satisfied with the number for Bray and JoJo. At this point, we're going to jump into the Yin Yang Oracle deck, which we start readings with fairly often, although we've been trying out some new decks to provide a little variety. We're definitely going to be using some of the darker Oracle cards here, just because of the image that Bray portrays and sort of some of the ups and downs that he's had. I'm going to tell you, we do, if you've seen some of our other videos, and I hope that you have, you'll see that when we touch on some of the darker topics, or people who, even though we don't think going into that it's going to be a particularly dark reading, that it starts turning dark, it does affect us. I'm speaking for myself and Calypso, that the energy around some of these figures, as we try to tap into their inner psyche and their emotions, what makes them tick, can affect us very much. So it's not lightly that I come into this reading here on Wyndham Rotunda Bray Wyatt. Thought I had a few that were going to drop. We've had 3 or 4 fallout so far. See if we can get a few more. This deck's a little sticky still, but it's gonna.
It's a brand new deck, so it's definitely gonna take some flexing to, get it broken in.
As you're watching, please do drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. Leave us a comment about what you think about Bray, what you think his future will be in the business, who else you'd like to hear us talk about. All right, let's jump into this deck here and see what we've got.
Don't forget to share us on social media and, tag a friend and turn on the notification bell.
Okay. First up, Spirit Guides, Assistance, Divine Guidance, Signs and Synchronicities, and Guardian. Bray absolutely seems to be tapped in to some sort of spirituality. Hopefully it's a healthy sort that is providing him helpful guidance, guardianship, the energies and entities that he channels even on stage, even if this is kayfabe, are not to be played with. And I hope that he does have protections and guardians in place, because not gonna lie, when watching it myself in our house, we'll turn the volume off for some of his let me in style entrances.
Oh yeah.
Those things are powerful, and not to be taken lightly. We've got change and courage, relocation, moving on, progress, travel, and communication. I think we've seen this one before for him, right? This isn't the first time we've read Bray over the past few months. This is the third time, and this card comes up pretty consistently. He's always seems to be in a state of flux and change, whether that's just workshopping his art, or if he always kind of has one foot out the door, because he comes in very strongly, right? We had the impulsive and predictability. I believe there's another card, one of his power cards here, that implies, know when to not assert that control. But I don't think he fits in great in the locker room. Maybe he did once upon a time ago when it was the Wyatt family and he had, so supportive bros around him, right? With Brody Lee, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. This Wyatt 6 hasn't materialized, and who knows now if they ever will. But I think whether it's good for those people who get tied in with him or not, I think
he needs a tribe.
He needs a tribe, exactly. Yeah. He needs other people around him
to keep his feet on the ground.
Okay, next. Until debt tear us apart. Karma, debts, rewards, contracts. Saturn, this is Capricorn energy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I said Bray's ex-wife has a December birthday. I don't know which end of December that is, but
that sounds like her.
One end of that is Capricorn, which is Saturn. So, yeah, we know that there was the infidelity that was obviously a major contributor to their split. I don't know what was going on financially either. My understanding is she's a real estate agent. She's remarried now. She has some success. I don't know what that was like.
Just to chime in to give you context, because I did do a little reading, because remember, I did this reading and I didn't like it, and I didn't like how I felt. But I did a little homework before I did the reading. She, allegedly WWE forged his papers somewhat, like helped him not admit all his earnings.
Oh, his finances.
Yeah, like
really?
She implied that WWE helped him fugazi his earnings.
Thank you. This is news to me. So allegedly for entertainment purposes, sounds like there might have been, and so he's got a karmic debt to pay there.
Yes. Until debt tears us apart is because I think he tried to finesse her. There might have been
some funny bookkeeping, which
alimony,
which is going to play strongly into the reading that you're going to be doing a little bit later today. That funny bookkeeping.
Yeah. I just wanted to help. That's all.
But I appreciate that. So yeah, there's definitely some karma involved there. If not only did you cheat on your spouse, but then leveraged your ties in the company to not have to support as much financially. Again, I don't know for sure if she is a Capricorn ruled by Saturn. She could be a Sag on the other end.
Either way, she's a winter baby.
Either way, she is a winter baby, and money clearly has played a role there in that relationship. We've got masculine energy. Bray exudes strong, even as the sensitive guy, strongly masculine energy, logical, confident, assertive, protective, wounded, controlling, aggressive, and egoic. I don't know if that's egotistical, but yes, he's definitely his character obviously plays very wounded and alternately protective and aggressive, but the ego behind that character, and again, to work for months while only getting in the ring once, and just giving us these sort of monologues and little artistic segues, that takes some ego. But I think that masculine energy is Bray, but the big boss daddy of the company is back, and has been flexing a little bit more control since around WrestleMania time. It has never seemed like he and Vince have a great relationship.
No.
Because again, among other things, Vince is a body guy. So I don't think you're going to see someone who's built like a Bray Wyatt or an Otis, get the push and keep the push in that sort of way. Vince absolutely has a very strong, or Keith Lee for that matter, right? Powerhouse guys who don't fit the mold. Vince
He'll push a powerhouse Hobbs, but not a Keith Lee.
Vince wants a Bruno Sammartino, not an Ivan Putski, right? Even though Ivan was totally over and people loved him, just like Bray was. Ooh, karma again, the scales of justice. Weighing things out, cause and effect choices, wants to make things right.
He's getting hit with karma right now.
He is absolutely feeling some karma. I would think from that relationship, this is also a Libra card.
Didn't they have children too?
Yes, they had 2 children.
So yeah, he needs to do right by his own children.
So yes, I believe he has 2 children with his first wife, and then he has 2 with JoJo now, right? Or is it 3?
Oof, I don't lost count.
Oh my goodness. This is also a card with Libra energy. I don't know what Libras are particularly involved in this situation. I don't think that, let's say, a Steph McMahon or Linda McMahon or even a Tony Khan.
I don't know his dad's sign and
might
stuff like that.
Right? Yeah.
Bo, do you know Bo's sign?
I have looked him up, but no, I don't remember it. Yeah, if you check Mike Rotunda and Bo. Next, family and foundation, commitment, home, marriage, celebration, security. I don't mind telling you that the other times that we have read Bray, women and relationships are all through it. Whatever his messiness may be in his, outside the ring life, he's got drama on that family side. Soulmate energy, union, the lover's card, decisions, proposal, integration of yin and yang energies. If you remember talking about this love number card, relationship needs to feel like you're finding a deeper meaning to life. I think he really feels, or at least felt, that he and JoJo are soulmates. I don't think that Bray, risked and eventually destroyed his marriage over a fling, although stranger things have happened. I really feel that love number 7 says something strong, that this is a deep connection that he feels with JoJo Offerman.
Unfortunately, they have a sister. I can't see her. I can't find her wiki to see her birthday. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately. Okay,
so Mike Rotunda is a Aries.
They're not.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, unfortunately, can't see his sister's energy.
Right.
She stays very private, clearly.
Right. And JoJo is a Pisces, by the way. That much I know.
So, and I know Bo is a Gemini.
She's a Gemini like Bray. Okay.
He's May some. I think he's May 30, 2 days after Sincere, something like that.
Gotcha. So far we're seeing change, karma, and relationships factoring strongly. We're going to take a look at the Lilith deck now, which is a very, I think, kind of personal inside look.
It's not even Barry Windham. I was like, maybe it's Barry, since he's sick right now. But yeah, I can't get anything on Micah.
Oh, what about John Huber? Again, I know we actually looked this up last time you did this reading. Not him.
He's a Sag, December 16th.
Gotcha.
Ooh, he died 10 days after his birthday.
Yeah. Ooh, I almost dropped this whole deck when you said that. My goodness.
And that means he still weighs heavy on him.
He absolutely does. And, Bray has cited, the passing of John Huber, or, Brody Lee, Luke Harper, however you choose to refer to him. When he pulled away from the WWE back during his run as The Fiend. So no, that relationship was important, and he absolutely, carries that weight. But what we're seeing now, is more about relationships, family.
Wow. He was surrounded by 2 Sages, because November 28th is a Sag too, ain't it?
Yes.
So yeah, they both are Sages. Eric and Hubert were both, Rowan and Hubert were both Sages.
Well, might as well check Brown. Whoop.
September 6th.
Taurus. Leo.
And then let's see what Alexa Bliss is. Alexis is August 9th.
August 9th. No, yeah. August 9th is Leo. You said September 6th? I'm sorry. September 6th is Virgo.
So, regardless.
Which is the same as Vinny,
or
right?
it could be somebody else, one of his children. And I'm not about to go digging into the kids.
Right. No, I doubt you'd find that anyway. Okay, this deck might be done talking. We'll give it a couple more passes, but we absolutely had quite a few drop for us here. Okay, let's take another look on the inside. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I thought more fell than that. Maybe I was looking at it wrong. I may have to do a little bit more shuffling here, but let's start with what we've got. The Sun, Desire, Hope, and Clarity. And again, women still very much involved in Bray's energy. But I think that he's got this balance, right, between his desires. We've seen in other readings, and we'll see what this one turns up. Bray's a person of appetites, so desire, weighs very strongly. Clarity being his intellectual side, and hope sort of being the emotional side. So this is almost like ego, superego, and id here, and Bray is this very complex, sort of unbalanced combination of those three.
By the way, I pulled that for Sasha. That was the first card that fell for her too.
This is the sprouting. Okay. Growth, endurance, and resilience. I think Bray is always trying to grow, right? He's very much trying to grow. And I think that's where the endurance and resilience come in, because it's not always received. He's kind of waiting, I think he probably feels like he's very much ahead of his time. And he has to endure, bide his time, be resilient until the world sort of catches up with him. And the commitment, loyalty, obligations, dedication.
Boy, them relationships are
right. Relationships all over. And again, I think, he does seem to be committed to the current relationship just based on this love number and this soulmate energy. But really, a person who cheats, you have to always say, well,
you could be
I don't know.
And still have an outside appetite. Because I'm telling you, Bray had so much, feminine eyes, around him,
Right. By the way, this deck is not overwhelmingly feminine, right, in its artwork.
Exactly. So
And yet here we've got, one couple and three. It's also not overwhelmingly representative of black faces. And the fact that we have a black woman here and a black couple here,
right,
that's telling something. Although, I mean, this deck is, beautifully diverse.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, that means that there's diversity. It's not just a lot of black or a lot of white.
Beautiful Asians in that
Oh,
deck.
here we go.
I love that deck.
The Deceiver. Oh, there's the Fiend right there. There's the other side of the coin. All right, hurt and heal. Duality. We know he's a Gemini.
I think you probably got as much as you're gonna get. You might as well not force his energy.
Duality, pretense, and trust. Bray is a Gemini, so that duality is there immediately. The pretense and trust, I think to some degree, his character really does draw in the crowd, right? His character feeds off the crowd, singing his music, holding up the phones, lighting his way in during the Fireflies era. He wants them to trust him, even as he tells them that he's this dark figure. And I think, this image here of the man with the mirror turned away really exemplifies, a lot of what we know about Bray. Oh, and here's the technology, the crossroads, opportunity, indecision, and influence. But you see, this is a very, it's almost a cyberpunk sort of look to this image. I would absolutely say he's at a crossroads because we don't know where his career is going to go, what his opportunities are. It feels like opportunities are passing him by as he, the longer he stays away. I don't think that this is a how can we miss you if you don't go away situation. I think this is more of a, he's gone and is becoming, less relevant to the company by the minute. And I'm not sure this is one of those signings that another promotion could pick up and just sort of pick up where they left off. I think he would absolutely be seen as damaged goods, wherever it is he ends up. So we start shuffling through here. We're gonna try to look a little bit deeper.
By the way, that's the Spirit and Shadow deck.
Spirit and Shadow. We've got Messenger, Mortality, and Water.
Spirit and Dream. Spirit and Dream. Yeah. Oof.
All right, you see that Death card there? And the Dark Raven Messenger.
That's it. Like that's one of those decks like this one where you only need a few.
So let's see what we've got. Start with the Water card.
It's there.
Placid, changeable, content. Some part of his life, he feels content about, right? And water also flows, right? There's that changeability, that dual nature that a Gemini has, where yes, things can flow in and out. The energies can change, whether that's, his status with the business, right? Where, oh no, he left and he was just gone for a while. And then he came back, he did his thing, and now he flowed right back out. He's really moving like water, right? This is the sort of martial arts technique of be like the supple bamboo and not the mighty oak. It's a defense mechanism in some ways, right? Where you just let things flow. And maybe the best way to deal with some of these other issues. By the way, we're actually seeing less obvious turmoil here in this deck than we have seen. He may be learning to let things go with the flow more. Here we've got the messenger. You see that raven, enlighten truth.
And Corvid.
Look carefully and find what you seek, right? So I think if we look all the way back here to these spirit guides, Spirit is trying to show Bray the way, right? And so this messenger raven, which is Libra energy again, by the way, which we saw over here in the karma card, is trying to show him something. I don't know where that's leading him just yet, but it's absolutely trying to point him in the right direction. We've got this mortality card, change, fear, aging. Obviously you see a card that has the Reaper on it. It's gonna imply drastic change, not necessarily death, but change and aging. Again, Bray's not as young as he used to be, right? So his time in the business, especially for someone who is a big heavyset guy, he's not a health guy, he's not a body guy.
It's telling him to get rid of his.
It's telling him that the clock is ticking, and he has to face those fears, which I think it's what he's been trying to do, right? With the Uncle Howdy character and the Fiend character, those imply his dark side, and even though they're threatening characters, what did our parents tell us when we were kids? Oh, the bully's just afraid of something, right? He's just this scared guy, and that's why he acts out. That may be true. Next up, we've got the child. Playful, imaginative, and helpless. So Bray's inner child, I think, has been trying to speak out, right? That's the heel side, the foil to Uncle Howdy or to the Fiend, who's very vulnerable, and he's expressed that vulnerability in the ring quite a bit. In the ring, I mean cutting promos in the ring. That, gosh, this dual nature of him is everywhere.
Before we go to that last one, I like this card, right? Because it says harnessing the attributes of the child, allowing your imagination to run free, and remaining young at heart while embracing the responsibilities of adulthood lead to a balanced life. So that's what that card's telling him, which he does. Right. His characters is his imagination running wild.
Yes.
Which is why he gets so offended when people don't like it.
Everything is about, oh my God, have we seen anyone who's more a Gemini than Bray Wyatt?
No.
Like,
no.
His wife is a Gemini, his work is a Gemini, everything. It's this dual nature. By the way, he's, I think, a good 10 years older than JoJo, so he's trying to remain young at heart to some degree in this, second relationship, and having children with a second person.
Yeah, with a younger woman. So yes.
And finally, from this deck, we've got the Sleepwalker, numb, disengaged, indifferent. It can be a lot. Having, the goal is balance, right? You balance the Reaper with the child in an effort to find that harmony, if you can flow like the water over here. But if you're the Sleepwalker, I think that imbalance can be too much. That can really weigh on somebody, and it makes you numb. The business grinds them down.
Yeah, and it says anyone can experience periods of life during which they sleepwalk. The key to reawakening is recognizing that one has detached from life. So he's detached. And self-awareness is of the utmost importance. Only then can the sleepwalker rise. So yeah, he's kind of been just sleepwalking.
And it's not the first time. Again, he did this back during the Fiend period, where he had to step away. And I think he's doing that now, right? He's sleepwalking, he's hibernating, whatever it is. But he's struggling. He's really struggling to find that balance, to flow like the water. I don't know if the relationship matters that we talked about.
This scares me a little bit, right? The Reaper, the mortality with the Sleepwalker. That's mental health. When you see mortality and the Sleepwalker together.
And it's practically the same image, right? You've got the Reaper visible in both.
That's why I say
here he's carrying the sickle, here the moon forms a sickle, if that's the moon and not a portal.
Right. And I think that's what's a little bit scary to me with him, because it definitely means he might not even be sleeping. Like, there's a form of insomnia, right? And he's kind of drifting. I mean, that's my take on a lot of these cards. Like, the dark and the light, the dark and the light.
But we're seeing more of the dark than the light.
And I think the character that he came out with, where he was talking about, you guys, I like the vulnerability, but the darkness, that's like, I don't think people understand how much Uncle Howdy and the Fiend really is Bray Wyatt. He's like a monster to himself, and then at the same time, it's, hi everybody, I love little kids, I'm a good guy. Like, it's really, he really is a
right,
Gemini.
and he has to probably wear that mask at home. Right, because he has young kids.
Yes.
And he doesn't want to scare his kids. Like, family is important to him. We've seen that. We've seen it here. We see it in the love number, and just part of his sign.
I think he gets darker than most people, though. And it's a little scary, which is why I told you I didn't like doing his readings, because his monster felt real to me, and even doing his cards.
And I mean, I think artistic types are like that, right? And yes, many Geminis are artistic, but I think the more gifted you are creatively and artistically,
the more intense you are.
Right. The more of your mind, real estate, that sort of darkness gets a chance to take up, right? Because even when you try to keep yourself grounded, I think he's having difficulty there.
Which is why I think Geminis are like. For anybody that has Gemini children, you really have to watch your Gemini children. Like, you have to hug them more. You have to, it's real, because I think they struggle a lot with the dark side really weighing on them.
We talked about wanting to use this Egyptian Visions deck to close, right? Because it offers a little bit more light imagery, and
it's not talking.
It is like molasses in my hands. Like, it doesn't want to say anything. Whew.
I told you, his energy is like, ugh. We need a spiritual bath after doing bread.
It's like trying to like bridge shuffle a loaf of bread. All right, we're gonna go through here one more, maybe two more times, and then we're gonna say that we've heard everything we're gonna hear.
Or you can, it's up to you. If that one don't want to talk, you might get a better look through the situations. That's why I was saying, if that doesn't talk, because situations tends to be just very neutral too.
All right.
Because the light is not shining.
Right. Whew. Wow. If you've watched our other videos, and I hope if you haven't that you do, that has never happened. Let's try the situations deck. Give me a minute here. Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda.
So, yeah.
What's the situation with Bray Wyatt from Wyndham Rotunda?
Like, his energy, y'all, I've literally done 2 readings, one in the bedroom. I regret ever doing that in my bedroom. Then did another reading up here. I looked at Judah, said, yeah, I'm not posting that.
Oh, so this is our 4th reading on him. I thought it was the 3rd.
No. I've
done... you did 2 and I've done 2.
And I never liked the readings that came out, and I felt like while I was talking, I was getting mad. It's weird. His energy, out of everyone we've ever done, I have to honestly say his was the most heaviest. His was anger, real rage. I felt a lot of that stuff that Bray plays in his characters, and I don't know. I'm all right with dealing with the duality, but when you feel it, I'm like, bro, I need more protective jewelry doing some of these people.
Let's see what we've got here. We've got the drama queen, causing chaos, thirsty. I don't know if this is someone outside in his life. Again, we talked about that female energy here and that karma coming due. That might be a chaos in his life. That could be Bray himself, in the locker room, because he's artistic. He's a Gemini. I think people have the impression that he is a dramatic person. Lost, ghosted, cut off. Again, put that over here with these.
I wonder if he has Asperger's, if he's like a high functioning autism.
He's feeling lost in some way. That's a possibility.
I'm serious. Because of his creativity and the way his emotions feel, feel like I'm so misunderstood.
We've seen this one, the receipts card, multiple times, having done these readings. Put that over here with this karmic balance.
Mm-hmm.
If he's played around, done someone wrong, whether it's the financial things that Calypso mentioned earlier, or, some other kind of way in relationships, that's going to come home to roost. I think he's avoiding it, right? He's avoiding, I think, whatever this karmic comeuppance is. And I think he's also avoiding all these negative feelings that probably well back up when he plugs back into the business. He stayed away from the business for a while, probably felt, okay, I'm ready, I can come back, I've got these ideas, and now he's gone. He's run back out the door again because he is, he's sleepwalking, right? He's lost. This raven messenger is coming, trying to point him in the right direction. It's becoming too much. And he needs this protection, right? We saw the spirit guides early on. Here we've got the Archangel Michael card. Protection, prevented from harm, and divine intervention. Finally, we've got something light and positive. And it might be that the only way to get that protection is to run away, right? Live to fight another day. Because if being around the business is toxic for whatever reason... Oh, and we've got the... We pull the car like multiple times with him. Mm-hmm. Triggers, name, car, place. And he's running from it. Whatever it is that's triggering him, again, just being around the boys in the locker room might be a trigger because, of his lost relationship with John Huber. And he's running from that. But whether it's the loss of Huber or some other issue, he's running and hiding from it. And I think that until he gets some sort of help or protection, the business is not a healthy place for him to be, right? And we haven't seen anything here. We've seen some protection. We've seen, learning to flow with this water card. But we've got karma, we've got drama, these conflicting emotions over here.
I also feel like they've cut him off because they've let him have so much creativity. The ghosted block cut off is the Fed. Like, no, enough. I think he's been cut off.
Well, not just
doing whatever he wants to do. Because I definitely think Paul gave him the reins. Yes.
Paul Levesque gave him enough rope to do himself in with. Mm-hmm. But I think that's also the boys, right? Because when Brock said, not me, cowboy. I am not working a program with you. You're ridiculous. And it sounds like probably Bobby would have done it, but just getting cut off from the prospect of working with Lesnar and told that, oh no, whatever your idea for a WrestleMania match, which sounds like he wanted to just receive this tremendous beatdown, right?
And Brock didn't want to do it.
And use that as the catalyst into whatever was happening next. And for Brock Lesnar to turn down the chance to beat somebody to a pulp, I mean, he was all too quick to do it to Cody.
Because there's a story developing there. Like, I think people don't give Brock Lesnar enough credit that he likes story. He likes when his character can feel interesting. Because, again, he has said many times, I'm rich. Like, so when I come back, it needs to be fun for me.
Right, he doesn't need to do this.
And I think Bray, him just brutalizing Bray One, he doesn't want to get caught in a program with him because he's afraid that it won't just be a one and done. And two, just brutalizing you isn't fun. At least fighting Omos and making Omos look like a monster, he might have felt like, oh look, I made this kid look like he's somewhat of a monster, even though I beat him.
Even though we beat him.
Which didn't make sense to me, but you know.
So what did we learn? He's running from either these emotional triggers or whatever this karmic balance is, right? There's drama in these relationships. His family is very important. He's trying, right? He's trying to flow like water. He's trying to balance these things, but he is really struggling with it. Possibly not sleeping, right? Having that kind of mental, emotional deterioration that comes with that.
Where the Reaper's right there. He got to be careful.
He needs to be careful. And if that means staying away from the WWE or from the business in general, then, hopefully he's going to put himself first. He's got some element of protection here. And that's one positive that we can look at.
I definitely think JoJo is protective of him, but at the same time, like, I really think he needs to seek help because I tell you all the time, like, looking at his cards, he's a glutton for food, he's a glutton for punishment, he's a glutton for a lot of things. And it's not healthy to, like, you know what I mean? Like, he loves the extremes of things. Like, and it's a little scary because you got little kids, and I don't mean like him harming anyone. It's more so himself. Like, Bray harms himself in the sense of, like, that pleasure pain, that pleasure pain. That's a Gemini stuff, right? Like, that pleasure pain thing for him is real. But that's really what I take on this reading again.
And he knows the clock is ticking, right? He knows he's getting older. Changes are imminent. He needs... Nothing to me has said more like he needs help. Well, therapy, whatever it is. But he's struggling keeping a lot of stuff in the air. And as a fan of Bray Wyatt, especially, the Duck Dynasty Wyatt family version, I hope he gets it. But if he needs to leave the business to keep himself and his family healthy, I hope he does that too, right? Don't let him in. Right. Let him go. Right. Let him go.
Like, the fans need to let him go. Because I really think the business at this point is not the same for him.
Right. Okay, do you have any last words?
Other than the fact that, honestly, I think The Fiend, he broke then, and nobody paid attention. Like, when they broke the Fiend character, because that was another one of his creations, right? He had the Wyatt family. That was his creation. It was over, and the Fed buried him. Then he gets the Fiend. He brings another creation to life. The Fed buries it. Two things that got over with fans. This third creation, Fed lets him do what he wants to do, it doesn't get over, and it's buried again. You're talking about 3 burials from an artist. That's why I said I really wonder if he's on the spectrum, because he takes things so personally, right? He doesn't know how to... And I'm sure a lot of people who are artists, right? Like, if you crap on their paintings or whatever, right? But there's something about Bray, I'm telling y'all, that definitely gives, like, the Tony Khan, I'm telling you, got, like, them same, I really think he might be, like, there's something that we don't know personally about him. There's something the way he processes emotions that's completely different than other people.
He's got a lot of complexity in how he processes.
And that's really it. And that's not me shading people who are on the spectrum. I have plenty of friends and family members who are on the spectrum, but I'm saying, like, they process emotions different. And the way his always feels so heavy and lost and, like, I don't know how to process this, the detachment feels like that. That he needs people to help him stay on the ground. He needs people to help him be like, okay, that's really not healthy, Bray. That's really not okay, Bray. Right? Like, the light. And I do think JoJo is the light for him. But she can only be one person to do so much.
Right.
And
she also has to be a mother, right? She has to give her energy there.
And herself.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a lot.
It is. This has been our reading, our look behind, as I said, the Dark Curtain, and it did not disappoint in that regard. That is Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below, and check out our other videos because we've been covering a lot of topics, a lot of people. And let us know who else or what else you'd like to see us talk about. For myself, Jude, and my partner, Calypso Vibes, we are Wrestling Tea Tarot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.